Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, okay, guys and sir, for this time and this special opportunity, I would like to do my presentation. It's about applied linguistics, especially we'll discuss about research question. And before I jump straight to the research question, I would like to explain a little bit about applied linguistics. And it's like a interdisciplinary field which is focused on the theory of language and the learning and teaching of that language. And of course it also include SLA, yes, second language acquisition. Yeah, now we can, for proving this applied linguistic, to make it to apply it into the community on social language environment, it will need the scholar needs to conduct a research, and several research will need, of course, will need the format of the research. In this case, maybe it's like a background, what the point, the main idea, and of course the theoretical framework, and of course one of the most important among that element is research question. Now we can discuss research question. So research question is like a vehicle that will move you to one broad or general prospect in language to more specific one, and respect interest, more specific project. So it will guide you. Without research question in your research, you will flounder. You like driving a car without a map. And with this research question, with a proper research question, your research will be appropriate. So simply how we can define how important this research question is, like a without research question, you is like a sailor man go to the world bigger sea without a map or compass. Yeah, it will roll, it will decide everything on your research. Now we come to the how to make research question, where it come from. Yeah, there are three main research to get a good research question for your own research. First of all, of course, the most recommended one is like from existing review. I mean, it's like a existing research question. You can copy that or imitate the research question that have proof by the previous researchers or more intelligent expert that have conduct the same research with same orientation with yours. Yeah, you can copy it, and if you think that their question are not appropriate or to your or no longer reliable, you can change a little bit and before you put it into your research question. And the second, you can copy that, you can make it from recent topics that comes to surface around you, and it also include about language phenomenon. Of course, if you see any phenomenal linguistic phenomenon, I mean everything that relate to linguistic have, but that make you interested, that mean interested in that phenomenon, you can put it into a good sentence and a good question to your research. And the next is, but it is not quite recommended for your research. It's like the three resource you can use is your own finding. I mean, you can make a good, or maybe it can be bad research question by your own finding, your own interest. But the bad thing is you can get more reference, since the research question is depend on your own finding. There must be not a lot of previous studies or previous expert that have do that same concept that you bring with your own research. You can lack of reference and helps to complete your research. Now we can come to the type of research question. There are a lot of types of research question. You can define into several points, and the point could be spread into one subordinate point. And let's go from first is like primary and secondary question. Of course, from the name you can know primary and secondary question. It depends on the priority to the question need to be answered. Of course, we need to classify which one the question need to be answered. It's when we can need will not necessarily be answered. So we need to be focused on the field. If the primary question have been solved, so your research question is calculated or count as appropriate research for the primary question is already or are already answered, and the secondary is the supporting question that sometimes can be ignored. I mean, maybe like that. And the next is the main and contributory. Different with primary and secondary. Main and contributory is come along together. Main is, of course, the question needs to be answered, but the contributory must be answered before we can make a conclusion to answer the main question. So the main question come after you can finish the contributory question. It's like something you can gathering for one single question. So a few question require some answer that can combine into complete the main question. The next is overarching and subordinate. It just the matters of how we list them. Overarching is the one we come with the big line of a question, and the subordinate is the subordinate, the little question or the part of the question. Because, for example, we make one big line of the overarching question is like a 1.1 question and several sentence, and for the subordinating we can add with the little more little question with the sign 1.A and 1.B. It's the subordinate question. And the next is we come to the empirical, methodological, and theoretical question. So of course empirical, it must be focused on the answer that only can be answered with data. It's the factual one. But the methodological is focused on the method on how you conduct this research, and the theoretical we see the relation between the theoretical concept with the development of the empirical one. So we can, after we get the answer for the empirical one, we can use the theory to identify that data. The next is generated question and researcher generated question and participant generated question. From the name you can maybe a little bit confused, but if you know, not all the question must come from the researcher. Sometimes we need to know what they need, what they want to come to your research question. Yeah, sometimes you need that somehow. So you must think that's not always you to decide what you need to ask for your participants. Sometimes you gotta need make an interview with some of them, what suitable question for the target environment you want to ask. And the last one is, this must be empirical and speculative question. Yeah, from the type or kinds of question above, you can see that empirical, that question that only can be answered with data, it must be factual, it must be truth. And but the speculative is, it's all about why, how can you, so you can answer this speculative question only with your speculative or your own assumption or perception. For example, yes, the question would start with why, how can, what is the reason. It's an example of research question for the speculative one. The final points of the branch of type question I mentioned before is only 2 points. First of all, every single contents word on your research question really matters. So don't make any kind of ambiguity on your research question. And the second point is, ask yourself that your research question, is there, maybe it will sound like this, anyone will about me understand them? I mean them, your research question, of course. So if it's only you can understand the research question you made, it means your research question is not good enough to be distributed, to be given to your participant. And of course they will not answer it 100% correct, or you can get a better answer from your research question is not understandable. And another question is, how many research questions do we need in our research? Of course, more than one question. Why? Because I've mentioned before, that's why there are some types and other types of research question. For example, main and contributory, primary and secondary, because one question is not going to be enough to complete your research. Any statements must be supported with another statement, and that statement also be supported with another paragraph and an explanation. Is because main and contributory, main question and supporting question will always come together. There never will exist that only one single question that put on your research question. No one gonna do that. No researchers is going to put one single question in the research question, because it will be so questionable. Yeah, the question that is questionable. Yeah, I think that's all I can present today in this video. I mean, I do apologize for the lack of information, the lack of material, sir. And I mean, that's all I can only remind in my brain, and what that I can answer in front of a video. And it is really actually really tough to demonstrate the thing that only you can remind without reading anything in front of a video. And yeah, thanks for your attention, sir and guys, whoever watching this video, and see you in the next explanation or presentation from me. That's all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.